Well, here we are, guys. So, welcome. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and watching. Um, Thank you, guys, that are going to watch this video later. And so, let me get into the introduction, right? Because I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to know who I am and how I have the ability to talk about things. So, I did 12 years in the Tennessee Army National Guard, and I was a 19 Delta Cav Scout, and I deployed to Iraq in 2010. Um, that was a 9 month deployment, come back home, and then I got into some private security work. From there, I got into law enforcement. I started my law enforcement career in Blount County Sheriff's Office, where I started out in adult corrections. I was in adult corrections for about a year and a half before I got picked to go through their regional law enforcement training academy. And from there, I went to Sevier County Sheriff's Office. I was at Sevier County Sheriff's Office for roughly 8 years, where I was promoted to field training officer. I was later promoted to patrol corporal and then patrol sergeant. Um, that's just a little bit about my background as far as knowledge and the years that I've been in it and how I'm able to talk about this stuff. So, the things that we're going to talk about, we're going to have some really uncomfortable conversations. There's things that get brushed under the rug, don't get talked about, or anything like that, and we're going to talk about them. We're gonna put it out there. Now, I'll say this: there's going to be some things that probably won't get talked about unless, you know, God leads it down that road. Um, However, it's not off the table. Some of the things that we're going to talk about is mental health, right? Mental health in law enforcement. Because contrary to popular belief, it's a real thing. And it does affect every one of the officers in some way, shape, or form. Um, Number two, accountability. There are some that don't even know what that word means. But yet they want to pretend and want to do things to other officers or other individuals when they get put in those uncomfortable positions because they never wanted to go there to begin with. Um, which is going to lead into obviously the administrative issues and stuff like that. The lack of support and training. Um, yeah, I ain't going down that rabbit hole right now, but that's a big one. um, and then obviously firsthand accounts of the incidents, the things that we see, the things that we do, the things that we encounter. There's going to be some funny stuff. There's going to be some scary stuff. There's going to be some things that will absolutely blow your mind. That's going to get talked about, and the reason why I want to talk about all these different things and all this whole subject is one, right? Like, I'm obviously no longer in law enforcement right now. That's not to say it's off the table, because it's not. There are some opportunities. Whether or not I'm going to take those or whatever, I don't know. But I picked the name Shift Change because, one, there needs to be a change. And in order for there to be change, we have to have uncomfortable conversations about uncomfortable subjects, and we have to go to those places. If we don't go to those places and are not willing to have those conversations and are not willing to put it all out on the table, then nothing will ever change, period. And we need to have those conversations and we need to have those discussions, no matter who gets upset, no matter who gets butt hurt. It doesn't matter. These are all things that need to take place and that need to occur. And that's what we're going to do. So what is my goal in this? Uh, here's my goal. Um, I hope that individual law enforcement officers, whether they're experiencing things at home, or on the job, or a combination of both, I hope that they can recognize and say, hey, you know what? This stuff is bothering me. This stuff is causing me issues. This, whatever the case is, and they can reach out. They can go to somebody. They can get the help that they need to avoid the consequences, or the what comes from the bad decisions that you know we make. So, again, accountability, right? Um, some of you know my story, some of you don't. We will get into it later on. Obviously, not today, but um, feel free, if you're watching, to ask the question. I'm sitting here. I've got stuff pulled up beside me right now, so I can see all the questions or comments that come through. Um, I'll answer it for you. But the general discussion right now is just the introduction of everything, how things are going to go, um, housekeeping stuff. Um, so to again, the goals, right? Um, it's to support the officers, the deputies, the law enforcement officials that go out here and beat these streets day in and day out, and get exposed to the deaths, the child abuse, the life threatening moments, the all this stuff. And it's to give them a voice. So by all means, there's another chair sitting over here beside me. Um, and so you can see, you know, there's another thing set up. There are plans in the future for people to come on here. Um, in the future, it may just be me on here. It may just be me and somebody else. But again, like I said, there are plans. There are things set up for other individuals to come and sit here, and we just talk about stuff. We talk about the everyday accounts. We talk about the issues. We talk about the problems. We're going to talk about everything, and you'll be able to see it. And it not won't just be from my perspective. This is not going to be just a single individual, and this is not going to be from a singular agency. I've got individuals from multiple agencies across the East Tennessee area that have reached out. So it's going to be an unbiased thing, to show it that it's not just um, isolated to one area or isolated to one agency or one department. It's widespread, and in order for the officers and the community to, one, get better served, we have to go to these dark places, and we have to go to these conversations in these areas and talk about this stuff. We have to get it out. We have to put it out. We can't keep pushing it under the rug. We gotta we gotta somehow, some way, try to influence there to be resources given, opportunities given, real discussions given and had, that to where true change can occur. So again, that's one of the goals, is to strengthen um, the trust between the community and law enforcement. And again, like I said, I'm no longer part of it, but I've got friends. I've got real close friends that are still there and still grinding every single day and beating the roads every single day and putting their lives at risk. Um, there was an incident recently, and I know every one of the guys, um, and at one point in time had supervised them. Um, and it's sad and it's tragic. Um, but nonetheless, we got to look out. We as a community, and not only a community, but the administration and the leaders and the supervisors and stuff, they're going to have to look out for them guys. And it's not just going to be a simple, "Are you okay?" And then, "Yeah, I'm good," right? Because that's what 99.9% of us will say when somebody asks us that question. "You good?" "Yeah, man, I'm solid. I'm straight, squared away, whatever." And the reason being is that's just the personality we have. That's just who we are. Not only that, there's a stigma that surrounds law enforcement, right? Not only that, there's if we come out and say, "Man, you know what? Stuff's eating us up. Stuff's bothering us. Whatever." And let me tell you what your admin's going to do. I can tell you one of the responses, and speaking from experience, uh, you're going to get a response of "Not my problem. Uh, Figure it out." And then when the figuring out doesn't get figured out, and people make bad decisions, whether that's from them trying to cope with certain things or try to work through certain whatever, right? Whatever the scenario is, it happens. Period. It's going to happen. I like I said, I spent 12 years in the National Guard and deployed to Iraq, and there was a lot of things that I picked up, um, and it was just from exposure. It was the culture, right? When you're part of something, you become what you're a part of, and it's just the culture, and you start doing the things that you see everybody else doing. It's kind of the whole monkey see, monkey do, right? And then you get in there and you have some leaders that pure raging alcoholics, among other things. And then, chasing women, and alcohol and women never mix. No offense, ladies. But the fact of the matter is it happens. And we're going to go to those places. We're going to talk about that stuff. And I'm probably not going to make very many friends. Probably not. But again, we have to realize and we have to recognize that if we want change, we have to go to the places that we don't want to go. And we have to have them conversations, period. So that's what we're doing throughout this whole thing. The big goal, biggest, is complete honesty, 100% transparency through everything, 100%. Throughout every discussion topic, where we're not going to beat around the bush. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to do it. If there's somebody that's brought onto this show that refuses to talk about certain things or whatever, then or won't talk about certain things, then they won't be here. Again, it's 100% honesty and transparency, and we're going to those dark places. We're going to those places, and we're going to talk about those things that nobody wants to talk about. It's going to be put out there. Um, And what I would like to see is people coming and asking questions in the chat. That would also, because we can't think of everything. We're not going to think of everything. So if you have a question, by all means, put it out there. We'll answer it. If we can. I mean, there's going to be some things that we either one don't know the answer to, or just due to other reasons, which will be explained. But at the time that you ask the question, if it cannot be answered. Um, but again, it's hopefully this triggers a conversation amongst administrators and amongst leadership and amongst officers. Hey, we have to go somewhere. We have to do things a little different. And so that leads me into the next thing. I know I'd put out a video and said that the stuff that I was doing on my other channel, and talking about my walk with Christ and my journey with God and stuff, that's going to roll over on to this channel. One, because I 100% believe that Jesus Christ is King. He's alive. He's with us every single day. And so how do we fight the things that we walk around here with and the things that we get exposed to, having been in law enforcement and knowing people that still are? How do we continue? How do we deal with that? And I mean, I would say the answer is simple, but it's anything but simple. However, the short, simple answer is Jesus Christ. Uh, we'll again, that's something else that we'll get into. That's something else that we'll talk about. And so again, back to that housekeeping stuff, right? So obviously you guys can see some stuff sitting over here, and where I'm going to do some giveaways. So the first giveaway will be when this channel reaches 100 subscribers. And at the 100 subscriber mark, no, we're not giving away the autos at 100 subscribers. Sorry. It'd be too easy. Somebody be really lucky real quick. But the first giveaway is I will pick 3 random people from the subscriber list. And it'll be EDC trays, right? So I got 3 different ones here. I'll pick 3 different people. I'll send them out to you. I'll mail them to you, whatever, wherever you're from, wherever you are, I'll mail them to you. I'll make sure you get it. And for you Tennessee fans out there you go. Don't worry, my Ohio State people. I will make sure there's an Ohio State one in this pile. Second giveaway will be at 500 subscribers, and it is going to be an Olight Baton 4 Pro. So that'll be 500 subscribers, and I will pick one person from that and send it out. Whether if you're local, I'll meet you somewhere. If you're not local, I'll mail it to you. Again, I'll send you a message, get all your information and stuff like that, and we'll handle it. Now, the 1,000 subscriber mark, this is where the big boy comes in. Okay, this is where the big one's going to come into play. Yes, auto noise barrier tax. It's got a single down lead on it. It's got the mic and everything on it. They're, the fancy big ones. So, at 1,000 subscribers, I will pick one person from the subscriber list, and they will get a pair of auto noise barrier tags. Now, with that being said, obviously, this stuff costs money. This stuff is not cheap. So if you want to, if you feel like you in your heart, whatever, you can donate. I'm going to, if you look in the description, the Venmo link is there. If you can't do it that way or whatever, send me a message on here and we'll figure something out. But nobody has to. Don't feel obligated. I don't want it. However, this is something that I'm going to continue as far as the giveaways. The higher we go, the better the giveaway is going to be. And unfortunately, I'm not rich, so a little help would be appreciated. Um, but again, this is to give a voice. This is to hopefully trigger some sort of change, whether that be from inside the agencies or maybe somebody that inside the county government or anything like that that says, hey, we got to do something and enforces that change. But either way, it's got to happen. At some point, it's got to happen. It's just, I'm just going to say it. And I don't want any of the new guys. uh, I'm yeah, sorry, touchy subject for me because it one again I'm not there, so I can't really do anything. We got to do something to take care of these guys because if not, somebody's going to die. Somebody's going to lose their life. Um, it's just a matter of time before it happens in this county. It's happened to every county around us, every one, and some multiple times. It's just a matter of time to win. We have to acknowledge the things that need to change, and we need to change them quickly. And you know what? At the end of the day, some of those things may not save a life, but at least we can say that we did our absolute best. We can say that we actually tried if it does happen, instead of saying, oh, well, it is what it is. So share this stuff, subscribe to the channel, push it out. Again, like I said, there's going to be some people coming, and it's not just from one agency, so there's not going to be any bias, right? This is a widespread thing. Some places are worse than others, uh, but there's going to be other people come on, and we're going to have real conversations, real discussions. We're going to go to those ugly places and have those conversations. But again, Kevin, I appreciate you, brother. I love you, man. And yeah, you guys stay safe out there. Keep your heads up. Listen, I appreciate you guys watching and tuning in. Please like and share it. If you missed it or whatever, go back and watch it. And there's, like I said, there's going to be some giveaways. You can see the stack of stuff right here. No, the rifle's not going anywhere. That's mine. Sorry. Um, so yeah, just stay strong. Keep your minds right. Stay safe. And for those of you that are struggling with something or trying to work through things, if you haven't had a conversation with Jesus, just try it. I promise you, you'll be surprised what happens. Every bit of this, every bit of this is because of him. This is, I mean, some of you know that I've spent absurd amounts of money on firearms, but a lot of that stuff is gone, and this equipment, this stuff to do this with, these cameras, the computer, the mics, everything. This was all blessings from God. So we're going to be a voice. So if I know that some of you probably wouldn't want to because of the current atmospheres at your agencies and stuff like that, and that's completely understandable. I will never name drop nobody unless you're sitting in one of these chairs. Unless you're sitting in one of these chairs, nobody's names will ever get dropped if you don't want it dropped. Um, and I understand it's because of the atmosphere of the agencies. Um, I mean, you want to know what I mean by that? Look up DT Christmas on TikTok and watch his video on a policy that was just recently shared. Um, so you'll know why. Guys don't want to talk. It's because they're afraid they're losing their jobs. And when they lose their jobs, what happens? They can't feed their families. They can't feed their children. They lose their health insurance, all of these things. And yes, just for merely speaking out, just for merely criticizing, um, it happens. So again, if you want to ever, if you ever like, hey, you know what? I want to go talk. I want to go have a discussion. I want to go share my point of view. Reach out to me. We'll make it happen. We'll do it. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be entertaining. We're not gonna pull no punches here. If something gets said that floors you, that's the purpose. So God bless y'all. For those of you that are still in it, um, stay safe. Please reach out if you guys need anything, and have that conversation with Jesus. You might be surprised at what happens. I love y'all. Stay safe out there and be good. Again, thanks for watching.